Imagine you're sitting at your kitchen table, the morning sun filtering through the window, a mug of coffee warming your hands. Your adult child is across from you. Maybe they're visiting for the weekend, and you're catching up, laughing about old times. Then, out of nowhere, they say something that stops you cold, a sharp, offhand remark that feels like a slap. It's not a full-blown argument, just a little jab, but it lingers like a splinter under your skin. You let it slide because, well, they're your kid. You've watched them grow from a wobbly toddler to this independent adult with their own dreams, struggles, and opinions. You love them fiercely, so you tell yourself they didn't mean it. Maybe they're just stressed, or you're reading too much into it. But what if those words aren't just a slip? What if they're part of a pattern, a sign of something deeper that's quietly eating away at your peace, your confidence, your sense of self? What if those little cuts are warnings of a dynamic that's gone off balance, where your love is taken for granted and your worth is pushed aside? Today, we're diving into something raw, something so many parents feel but rarely talk about. The words your adult kids say that hurt more than they know. This isn't about giving up on them, it's about standing up for you. It's about recognizing when a line's been crossed and finding the courage to protect your heart, even from the people you'd move mountains for. So, grab a seat, maybe a cup of tea, and let's unpack this together, because you're not alone, and your peace matters. Welcome to Silver Strength Stories, where we get real about the stuff that matters, especially the stuff no one else seems to talk about. I'm so glad you're here, because today's conversation is one that hits deep. We're talking about those moments when your grown child says something that doesn't just sting, it shakes you. Not the usual family squabbles or eye rolls. Those are just part of the deal. I mean the words that make you pause, that make you wonder if you've been seen at all, if everything you've poured into them every late night, every sacrifice, every cheer from the sidelines was somehow missed. This video isn't about cutting ties or walking away from your kids. It's about reclaiming your dignity, about noticing when respect has slipped out of the equation, and about finding the strength to say, I deserve better, even when it's hard, even when it's your own flesh and blood. Because here's the thing, you've spent decades building a life, raising a family, weathering storms most people can't imagine. You've earned the right to a chapter filled with peace, joy, and real connection. Not one where you're dodging emotional landmines or tiptoeing around to keep the peace. So, let's talk about those phrases that hurt, why they cut so deep, and how you can take back your power. Because you're not just a parent, you're a person, and your heart deserves to be honored. Picture this. It's a Sunday afternoon, and you're at a family barbecue. The kids are all there, grandkids running around, and for a moment, it feels like the good old days. Then your son or daughter drops a line like, "You were never really there for me." Maybe it's said in passing, almost like they didn't mean to hurt you, but it lands like a ton of bricks. You've spent years juggling 2 jobs, skipping your own dreams to fund theirs, staying up late to help with homework, or wipe away tears after their first heartbreak. That one sentence feels like it wipes it all away, like none of it mattered. It sends you spiraling. Did I fail them? Was I not enough? You start replaying every decision, every moment you said no, because you thought it was right, every sacrifice you made to keep the family afloat. But here's what I need you to hold on to. You're not perfect, and nobody is. You gave everything you had, your time, your energy, your love. And when someone, even your own child, refuses to see that, when they're so caught up in their own version of the story that they ignore your sacrifices, it's not your job to carry that guilt. You deserve to protect your peace, to stand firm in the truth of what you've given. This isn't about pointing fingers or keeping score, it's about recognizing when words cross a line from honest frustration to something toxic. It's about understanding that your love doesn't have to be a punching bag, even for the ones you love most. Let's dive into those phrases that do more than hurt. They signal a dynamic that needs addressing. Because your heart, your history, and your resilience deserve to be seen. Now, let's get to the meat of it. We're going to walk through 5 phrases that aren't just painful, they're warning signs of an unhealthy dynamic. These aren't one-off comments said in the heat of the moment. They're patterns that, when repeated, chip away at your confidence, your dignity, and your sense of self. For each one, we'll unpack why it hurts, what it says about the relationship, and how you can respond in a way that honors you. These phrases are like cracks in a foundation. If you ignore them, they grow. But if you see them for what they are, you can start rebuilding your strength. Phrase 1. You owe me. This phrase can come in many disguises. Maybe it's not said so directly. Maybe it's buried in a comment like, if you'd been a better parent, I wouldn't be struggling like this. Or, after everything I've gone through because of you, the least you can do is help. The message is crystal clear. You owe them something: your time, your money, your emotional energy, your guilt. It's as if they're holding your love hostage, expecting you to pay a debt you never agreed to take on. But let's be real. Love isn't a transaction. You didn't raise them with a ledger in hand, tallying up every diaper changed, every bill paid, every sleepless night spent worrying. You gave because that's what parents do, because your heart was in it, not because you expected a return on investment. When your adult child treats your sacrifices like an invoice, demanding payment in the form of your resources or your guilt, that's not gratitude, it's manipulation. It's like they're saying your love comes with a price tag and you're forever in arrears. That's not how family works. You don't owe your grown child your entire emotional savings account, especially when it's taken for granted or weaponized against you. If they're using guilt to pull your strings, that's not a loving bond, it's emotional coercion. And it's not just about the hurt in the moment, it's about the long-term toll. Every time you give in to this kind of demand, you're handing over a piece of your peace, your autonomy. You start to feel like a supporting character in their story, not the lead in your own. Think about it. You've spent decades building a life, raising a family, navigating challenges that would make most people buckle. You've earned the right to set limits, to say, my love is a gift, not a debt. If your child can't see that, it's not your job to keep proving your worth, it's theirs to learn what respect looks like. Setting a boundary here doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you start loving yourself enough to stop the cycle. You might say, I've given you everything I could, and I'm here for you, but I won't be guilt-tripped into giving more than I can. That's not cold. It's clear. It's standing in your truth, and it's a step toward a healthier dynamic for both of you. Phrase 2. You're too old to get it. This one hits in a quiet, insidious way. It's not screamed in anger or thrown out in a fight, it's slipped into a conversation with a shrug, a smirk, maybe even a laugh. But it makes you feel small, like your life's worth of wisdom has an expiration date. You're too old to get it implies that your experiences, the years you spent navigating recessions, raising a family, surviving heartbreaks, and celebrating triumphs, are somehow irrelevant, just because you're not up on the latest trends or tech. It's like they're saying your perspective is outdated. Your voice doesn't belong in their world anymore. But let's flip that script. Age doesn't make you irrelevant, it makes you a treasure trove of resilience. You've seen things they can't imagine, weathered storms they haven't faced yet. You've learned lessons the hard way, through tears and triumphs, and that wisdom is gold. When your child dismisses you with this phrase, they're not being forward-thinking, they're being disrespectful. It's not just about brushing off your advice. It's about erasing the value of your life's journey, and that's not okay. Your perspective, rooted in decades of love, loss, and learning, deserves to be heard, not mocked. Imagine this. You're trying to share a piece of advice, maybe about a tough decision they're facing, and they roll their eyes saying, Mom, Dad, you don't get it. This isn't the 80s. It stings, right? It's like they're saying your entire life's worth of insight is obsolete. But here's the truth. Your experiences aren't just stories from the past, they're a roadmap for navigating life's messiness. You've been through job losses, family drama, personal victories, things that give you a lens they don't have yet. When they use your age to shut you down, it's not progress, it's a power move to keep you quiet. Don't let it slide. You have every right to speak, to share, to be part of their world. If they can't hear you without dismissing you, it's not your job to convince them of your worth, it's yours to protect it. Sometimes, that means stepping back, letting them stumble a bit until they realize the value of what you bring. You might say, I may not know everything about your world, but I know a lot about life, and I'm here when you're ready to listen. That's not giving up, it's standing firm in your strength. And it's a reminder that your voice matters, no matter how many candles are on your cake. Phrase 3. If you don't help me, I'll figure it out without you. This phrase can sound like independence at first, like your kid is ready to stand on their own 2 feet. And in some cases, that's exactly what it is. Admirable. But listen closely to the tone, the context. Is it said with confidence? Or is there a bite to it, a hint of, do what I want or I'm done with you? This phrase can be a manipulation tactic, leaning hard on your fear of losing them. As a parent, the idea of your child pulling away, of being shut out of their life, is gut-wrenching. They know that. And sometimes, consciously or not, they use it to get what they want. It's like they're holding your connection hostage, saying, give me what I need, or I'm gone. But love doesn't work that way. Real love doesn't come with a do this or else clause. If your child only shows up when they need money, a favor, or a shoulder to lean on, and they're quick to threaten distance when you hesitate, that's not a relationship, it's a transaction. You've spent decades building a life, working long hours, making tough calls, creating a home filled with memories. That life deserves to be surrounded by connections that bring joy, not ones that feel like a negotiation. Imagine this scenario. Your daughter calls, asking for help with rent again. You've helped before, stretched your budget thin, but this time you pause, suggest she explore other options, and she hits back with, fine, I'll figure it out without you. It's not just about the money, it's about the threat. The implication that your role in her life depends on saying yes. That's not love. It's control. You deserve better. Your heart, your sacrifices, your presence, they're not bargaining chips. Setting a boundary here might look like saying, I love you and I want to support you, but I can't keep doing this. Let's figure out a plan together. It's not about cutting them off, it's about refusing to let your love be weaponized. It's about teaching them that relationships are built on mutual respect, not ultimatums. And if they walk away, that's their choice, not your failure. You've earned the right to relationships that lift you up, not ones that pull you down. Phrase 4. You're the reason I'm like this. This one lands like a freight train. Parenting is a wild, imperfect ride, and sure, we all have moments we'd redo if we could. Maybe you were too strict, too soft, too busy surviving to be the parent you wanted to be. But when your grown child points to every struggle, every bad decision and says, this is because of you, refusing to own their part, that's not accountability, it's blame shifting. And it cuts deep. If you'd been more supportive, I wouldn't be so anxious. If you'd raised me differently, I'd have a better job, a better life. Those words hit like a wave, making you question every choice, every sacrifice, every time you said no because you thought it was the right call. But here's the truth. You raised them with what you had, with all the love and resources you could muster. Their adult choices, their wins, their mistakes are theirs to own. Blaming you might make them feel better for a moment, but it keeps them stuck in immaturity and traps you in a cycle of guilt you don't deserve. Picture this. Your son's going through a rough patch, maybe a breakup or a job loss, and in a heated moment he says, if you'd pushed me harder, I wouldn't be such a mess. It's like a knife twisting in your heart, because you remember the nights you stayed up helping with his homework, the times you cheered him on, the sacrifices you made to give him opportunities. But his words make you feel like none of it counted. Here's what you need to know. You did your job. You gave them roots and wings, and their adult path is their responsibility. Blaming you doesn't fix their problems, it just shifts the weight onto you. You don't have to carry that. Setting a boundary here might mean saying, I did my best with what I had, and I love you, but your choices are yours now. It's not about denying your imperfections, it's about refusing to let them chain you to their regrets. You've earned the right to let go of that guilt and step into a life where your efforts are seen, not weaponized. Phrase 5. You never really loved me. If you've heard this, I need you to take a deep breath and hold on tight. This phrase is a gut punch, a cruel twist of the knife that feels like it erases every moment you showed you every bedtime story, every bandaged knee, every time you stayed up late worrying about their safety. It's not just hurtful, it's designed to unravel you, to make you question the very core of who you are as a parent. Love isn't always loud or perfect. It's in the quiet, steady moments, the tough decisions, the sacrifices, the showing up even when you were exhausted. For your child to wipe that away with one sentence isn't just unfair, it's a power play. They're not trying to understand your love. They're trying to control the narrative. To make you feel so small you'll give in, apologize for things you didn't do, or beg for their approval. Imagine this. You're having a tough conversation with your daughter about boundaries, and she lashes out with, "You never really loved me." It's like the ground drops out from under you. You think of every hug, every meal you cooked, every time you put her needs before your own. But her words make it feel like none of it mattered. Here's the reality. Love isn't measured in grand gestures. It's measured in consistency, in showing up day after day, even when it's hard. If they can't see that, if they're willing to use your heart as a weapon, that's not a sign of your failure, it's a sign they're not ready to meet you in a place of mutual respect. You don't have to spend your golden years proving your love to someone who refuses to see it. Setting a boundary here might look like saying, "I've loved you my whole life, and I'm here, but I won't let you rewrite our story to hurt me." It's not about closing your heart, it's about protecting it. Real love doesn't need to beg for recognition. It shines, even in the mess. And if they can't see that, the most loving thing you can do is step back and let them find their way. These phrases aren't just words thrown out in a moment of frustration. They're patterns of disrespect, manipulation, and control that can leave you feeling unseen, unvalued, and like you're walking on eggshells in a relationship that's supposed to be built on love. When they come from your own child, they hurt in a way that's hard to describe, a quiet, aching heartbreak that most people don't talk about. It's exhausting, soul-draining, and it can make you feel like you're losing a piece of yourself every time you hear them. But you're not alone. So many parents carry this pain silently, wondering if they're the only ones feeling this way. Naming these patterns, calling them out for what they are, isn't about holding a grudge or giving up, it's about courage. It's about saying, "I see what's happening, and I'm worth more than this." Recognizing these red flags is the first step to reclaiming your peace, your dignity, and your joy. It's about realizing that your love doesn't have to be a punching bag, even for the ones you'd give the world for. So, what do you do when you hear these phrases, when you see these patterns? You set boundaries not out of spite or anger, but out of self-respect. Boundaries aren't about shutting your kids out or closing your heart. They're about teaching them how to treat you, about showing them what a healthy, respectful relationship looks like. Maybe it means saying no to demands that drain you dry. Maybe it's stepping back from conversations that turn toxic, where you're left feeling small or dismissed. Maybe it's looking them in the eye and saying, "I love you, but I won't be spoken to like that." Boundaries are an act of love for yourself and for them. They draw a line that says, "This is how far I'll go, and no further." And sometimes, that's the strongest lesson you can give. Because when you stand up for your worth, you're not just protecting your peace, you're showing them what mutual respect looks like. You're giving them a chance to grow, to meet you in a place where love and respect go hand in hand. It's not easy, especially when every instinct as a parent screams to keep giving, to keep fixing, to keep the peace. But sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is say, "Enough. You've earned that right." And it's a step toward a life where your heart is honored, not hurt. Your life's next chapter isn't about carrying the weight of disrespect or dodging emotional bullets. It's about stepping into the fullness of who you are, a person who's loved fiercely, fought hard, and earned the right to peace, joy, and real connection. You've spent decades building a life, raising a family, weathering storms that would break most people. This season of your life? It's for you, for rediscovering your strength, for surrounding yourself with people who see you, hear you, and value you. If any of these phrases hit home, if they stirred up memories or feelings you've kept tucked away, I want you to know you're not alone. So many parents are walking the same quiet path, and naming it is the first step to healing. Drop a comment below and share your story. What's one phrase you've heard that stuck with you? You'd be amazed how many people will read it and think, "I've been there too." If this video spoke to you, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to Silver Strength Stories. We're here for the real, raw conversations that help you stand tall, live fully, and love yourself a little more every day. Your heart, your history, your resilience, they matter. You've earned a life that reflects the love you've given, and we're here to walk that road with you. Stay strong, Keep shining, and I'll see you in the next one.